Hello, everyone. Welcome live to 3Y TV tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League. And, of course, it's the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series here from Watkins. Glen will be turning left and right for the only road course here in the chase for the Thornton Graphix Cup. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth, as always, is Bob Giaquinto. Of course, you weren't in the booth, as always, last week, but back up here tonight. And we're going to see these drivers twist and turn their way around upstate New York, Bob.
I am absolutely looking forward to this race, Peter. I love road course racing in general, and seeing these guys out there for the chase for the Thornton Graphix Cup, this is going to be quite the show, and just some really fantastic driving all throughout the field. Pretty close racing so far in practice, and this is going to shape up to be quite the fight as this race goes down to the wire.
Yeah, it is going to be a fun one here tonight, that's for sure. You're looking at the number 99 machine of Philip Scott, a little bit of a retro look to that number 99 here tonight, akin to what you'd see out of the Roush Fords back in the day in the IMSA series, and he's sporting that motorcraft look here tonight. David Harvey in the number 77 machine, also very fast here tonight. Second place on the board, and Anthony DeBarro, who's been lights out since joining the Total Nonstop Racing League a couple weeks ago, Bob. He is back atop the leaderboard with a 114.330.
Yeah, he has had just one heck of a practice session so far, has DeBarro. And earlier on when I was watching this practice session, at one point he was more than a second faster than the rest of the field. So, at this point in the race, or at this point before the race starts, the 27 has to be a favorite as this race goes on.
And speaking of one of the favorites, that machine right there, the number 13 of James Lorello, comes into tonight as the points leader here in the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. Oh, he has a moment there at the top of the S's on the backstretch, here at the Glen, and the number 76 machine also having a moment. I was going to say that he's the points leader. Hopefully things go a little bit better than that for him here tonight. Here's your reigning series champion, Jason Gracias, driving a modified up through the S's. It seems like a lot of drivers struggling here right now out there on the racetrack, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the drivers have been saying how loose this racetrack or this setup is for these cars, especially on brand new tires. The tires are cold, really not a whole lot of grip as we get a lot of guys out there to try to set a quick lap now in qualifying already. This is just one of those races where, the setup is going to be key, and who can handle the setup is going to be the one getting the W tonight.
Yeah, let's go on board with Nick Chambrone here. First one off pit road to start the 10-minute qualifying session that we have here tonight at the Glen, heading his way down the long back stretch into the bus stop. One of the best passing opportunities here at Watkins Glen. You go over the first curb, you go over the second curb, the third one, and the fourth one, and really the way you shoot your entry into the bus stop is really going to dictate how well you carry your speed through there, going through this long right-hander right here known as the carousel, and then into the final two corners of the racetrack here tonight. I like to say that it's an 11-turn racetrack. Some people don't count the bus stop and say it's only a 7-turn racetrack, but it's got 11 turns here. You turn the wheel 11 times, and that is what you're going to do. Looks like Nick Chambrone here going to be the first driver to take the green flag here in the qualifying session. There goes Nick Phillip back behind him, and the rest of the field. There is Anthony DeBarro, fastest in practice. He comes across the line. You see everyone else here. Open qualifying here tonight, Bob.
Yeah, open qualifying, and we've seen this back when the series was at Montreal towards the beginning of this season, where everyone is out at the exact same time. So, it's almost like a race within the race. You have to manage your traffic. You want to try to not be too far behind another driver. You don't want to have an issue where a slower car gets in the way and impedes your progress trying to sit down a quick lap. So, really a whole different strategy as this qualify goes on to, try to get that fast lap, just trying to manage your location out on the racetrack in relation to the other drivers.
Yeah, and there is the number 27 machine coming around the... Oh, man, James Lorello up there having a big moment. He's going to have to jump out of his car. Not good for the driver of the number 13 machine here so far. He's going to have to regroup, but he still has 7.5 minutes to try and get a good lap time in, Bob.
Yeah, still plenty of time. That being said, though, you want to try to get out there now while the weather conditions are still optimal, because here in iRacing, with the realistic weather, the track could get hot, could get cold, and really just mess up the rest of these drivers' rhythm. So, it's best to get out there now and strike while the iron's hot, so to speak.
Oh, there was a pile up there. I think I caught a glimpse of maybe Don Runkle Jr. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened here to the number 16 machine coming out onto the racetrack maybe for the first time here tonight. Ooh, there's the 99 of Philip Scott. Oh, it was Philip Scott who had a big moment. And nowhere for the number 16, of Runkle to go. He's going to be sitting on pit road right now in his machine. We'll see if he can get back out there. You see the number 99 of Philip Scott going back out there on the racetrack. But one thing I'm noticing right now, Bob, is these drivers are currently kind of sticking to the one lap and done. Those tires, we've heard from a couple of drivers that there's quite a bit of fall off here tonight. So they're going to go out there, turn one fast lap, and head straight back to pit lane for the most part.
Yeah, and honestly, that's probably going to be your best bet as a driver. Tire management is going to be key here for the qualifying session. And like I had said earlier, that this is a very loose setup. So, you're going to have to combat the car and try to have it not slide the tires through the corners. And, you want to try to keep the tires as fresh as possible to get that fast lap. And, one and done really seems to be the goal as the session goes on.
So, folks, we, of course, are in the Thornton Graphix Chase. Only 3 races left on the season here, including tonight's race. There's Mike Floppy Teller. He's one of those chase drivers in the number 97 machine. Other drivers in the chase. Well, how about Bill Edwards? We saw him out there on the racetrack a little while ago. There he is in his Silent Syndicate machine. He's one of those chase drivers. Who else we got? Oh, my goodness, Jason Freeman. He's one of the chase drivers, but hopefully that's not how he ends up here tonight. That is not good for him. There's the number 13 of James Lorello. He still needs to put in a lap time. Yet to do so. Andrew Himmelman as well is one of our chase drivers, having some connection issues there. Hopefully that gets sorted out before the start of the race. We got to highlight your reigning series champion, Jason Gracias. He's not actually out there on the racetrack right now. Tristan Mayer also one of those chase drivers. There he is, currently being scored 6th position on the board, but needs to pick up some time. He is currently situated about 1.4 seconds behind the number 27 machine of Anthony DeBarro.
And if there's one driver that needs a really good run out there tonight, well, if there's two really, it's going to be that 98 machine of Tristan Mayer and the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. Last week at Atlanta, both drivers had some issues in a fairly caution-free race aside from the stage break. And, those two drivers just could not capitalize on the long green flag runs. And this is going to be one of those races where they're going to have to step up to try to close that gap to Lorello.
Yeah, and that number 98 machine whipping his way around the racetrack, having a big moment there. And, oh my goodness gracious me, having a big, that's a big moment, folks. That is as big of a moment as you can have here at Watkins Glen. Let's go back and catch that one here on the 3-wide TV replay, Bob. Just getting all types of crossed up here at the top of the S's.
Yeah, it looks like he just carried a little bit too much speed at the top of the S's there, and as soon as that car snaps sideways, it is really hard to catch coming out of the S's, and unfortunately, that's what happens when you're not able to catch the car.
And, moment there for the USAA. Jason Freeman in the 20 still struggling. He's currently 8th position on the board. You saw Tim Johnston in the number 28 Dizzy Motorsports machine have a big moment going up through the S's. I don't know if he'll have enough time to go out there and get an extra lap time in. There's Tristan Mayer. He's back out there on the racetrack after getting a fast tow back to pit road. James Lorello, he's currently being scored in 9th, so finally able to get a lap time in his S2R Chevrolet Camaro, but not seeing a lot of Anthony DeBarro. He went out there, turned a fantastic lap time of 1:14.3. And it doesn't seem like anyone is getting all too close to that time right now. Ben Izenga, the only other driver in the 1:14 bracket with a 1:14.995. Timothy Johnston, about 0.2 of a second back. Then you got another 0.2 or so back to Philip Scott. Another couple of tenths back to Mitchell Adams in the number 36 machine. And haven't seen the number 36 machine here tonight. There is Mitchell Adams out there on the racetrack. And From what I've seen of Mitchell Adams here on 3Y TV, he knows how to get around these racetracks, and that number 36 machine hasn't run a whole lot here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, but I'll tell you what, he could be one to watch here tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely could. I mean, he's one heck of a road racer. We see him in the NSRA Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. He's one heck of a road racer, and he could be a dark horse and almost one of those spoilers to the chase as this race goes on.
Yeah, only 2 starts to his name so far this season at Dover and Kansas, making just his 3rd start. We'll see what he can do, currently sitting inside the top 5 here at the moment. But for now, the current provisional pole sitter, Anthony DeBarro, not out there on the racetrack. Ben Izenga in the number 17 NOS Energy Drink Toyota Supra. Man, big slide there coming out of the carousel down into turn number 10 right here before making the switch back to the right. Let's see if we can go on board with the number 17 machine. Maybe he'll turn a full lap time. I don't know. In fact, let's see if we can go on board with Gale Brooks, the Steel Horse Racing machine. And I know he's going to go out there, and he's going to try and get a full lap in that race car. So let's go on board with him right here. Jump inside as he goes across the start-finish line, Bob. Big braking zone down into turn number 1. Ooh, getting some wheel hop as well.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely going to be one of the big keys to manage, just like we saw here with Gale Brooks. Just try not to lock up the brakes. Try not to get all that much wheel hop heading down into turn number 1. It's you have to be all the way down into 2nd gear coming from 4th, so it's a lot of downshifting there, and every time you downshift, you always have that possibility of getting wheel hop, and that's not something you want to get a quick lap.
Yeah, so you see on board right now with Vincent Valvano wheeling it around this 11-turn racetrack into turn number 10 right here. The left-hander, you want to use as much of that rumble strip on the right-hand side as you can. Get as close as you can to that white strip on the left-hand side before getting as close as you can to the yellow line. That's the name of the game here. Just try and get as close as you can to the apexes of the corner and really try and power the car out of the corner. Looks like Vincent Valvano, checkered flag coming out here in the qualifying session. Someone having a big moment in turn number 1. I think that might have been Andrew Himmelman, who continues to appear to have connection troubles in his number 6 machine. He's currently being scored 16th on the board here, and not looking good for one of your Thornton Graphix Chase Series drivers in his number 6 mobile.
Yeah, absolutely not. Had a decent race last week at Atlanta. Just needs to keep stringing some good finishes up and getting some good finishes and stringing them together. And he still is definitely very much into this fight for the championship. So, all he's got to do is just improve from that 16th place starting position right now.
Bill Edwards in the number 50 machine. He has one more lap. No, he does not. He bails out at the last moment, kids down pit road. That lap was going to count, but obviously Bill didn't think it was going to be any faster than what it was before. So it looks like the racetrack here gonna fall silent with just about 40 seconds to wrap up here in the qualifying session, and Anthony DeBarro continues his hot streak here in the TNR Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. Been absolutely lights out. Didn't win last week in the 3Y TV 150 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but did win 2 weeks ago in the Dunn Raceway Park 150 at Nashville Fairgrounds. Lights out performance there. He was really fast last week, Bob. Can anyone catch DeBarro here tonight?
Just looking at his laps, maybe guys like Ben Izinga, Dave Harvey, but a lot of this field is really going to have to say and almost hope for the 27 to have some sort of issue, whether an off track, whether some wheel hop, something along those lines, because that 27 is very strong here at Watkins Glen.
Well, let's see if we can head down to tonight's starting lineup. You see a couple of the cars here starting to populate on the front stretch, including number 77 of David Harvey right there. He's going to have a really good starting position here tonight in this one. You see Ben Izenga presenting his number 17 machine, just waiting for the pole sitter Anthony DeBarro to jump out there onto the racetrack. A little bit of a different look on the safety car here tonight, Bob. We got the Porsche out there, and for all the folks wondering at home, no caution flags except for if we have a giant accident and the track gets blocked, or the stage break, which I believe, Bob, you have information on that stage break?
Yeah, stage break is going to be at the conclusion of lap number 10. However, if there's a caution anytime after lap 5, that will serve as the stage break. So any caution between lap 5 and 10 is going to be our stage break for this evening. And just like this whole season, first place gets 5 points, second gets 4, and so on, with fifth place getting 1 playoff, or getting 1 season point. And at this point in the season, every single point matters.
That is very, very true. Let's go down to our starting lineup here tonight. Anthony DeBarro starts on the pole. Ben Izenga alongside him. Row number 2, David Harvey and Tim Johnston. Another one of those Dizzy Motorsports machine, and they have been really making the field dizzy with all of their pace that they've had since joining the league. James Orello, Philip Scott on row number 3, Tristan Mayer and Mitchell Adams on row number 4, and rounding out your top 10, Nick Chambrone, Jason Freeman, and just taking you through your top 12, Bill Edwards and Chris Cabot, rounding out row number 6 there, Bob.
In row number 7, starting 13th, the 35 machine of Lupe Gonzalez, and on the outside in 14th, the 76 of Gail Brooks. Vinny Valvano in 15th, and championship hopeful, the 6 of Andrew Himmelman, starting in 16th. 17th place will be the 41 of Tony Lucarelli, and Kyle Lewis is going to be starting in 18th place. Next to him is the 97 machine of Mike Floppy Tellier, starting 19th, and rounding out the top 20, the 21 of Nick Cohan.
Starting back behind them, Garrett Gleason, who will be exiting the race just around the lap number 10 mark. He will leave it to officiate the remainder of the event. Jason Gracias will be starting alongside him. Your rating series champion going to have to come from deep in the field here tonight in that number 1 Toyota Supra. Watch for him to charge up to the front. Stephen Kegman, one of your chase drivers as well, will be rolling off in 23rd, with Don Runkle Jr. starting back there as well in his machine. I think the only driver that we have yet to mention by my calculations is Stephen Doziak Jr. in the number 55 machine. He currently is not out there on the racetrack, however, nor is Chris Gibbo in the number 48. So by my math, 25 minus 2, Bob, looks like 23 cars will start here tonight.
Yeah, and this should be quite a good race. I'm always looking forward to these road course events, and Watkins Glen, definitely one of my favorite tracks in general, and this is definitely going to be a good one.
You see all those cars working their way through the bus stop and down into the carousel. A couple of drivers just saying, you know, I'm just going to cut right through, and that being 21 of Nick Cohan, and as well as it looks like the number 16 machine back there of Don Runkle. But it's going to be a really interesting race here tonight. Not a whole lot of road courses this season. Bob, we saw a great race back at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve up there north of the border. But here tonight, upstate New York, not a whole lot of miles away from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, but a very different racetrack, and I'm really looking forward to it here tonight. 38 laps around this racetrack. It's going to be a fairly lengthy night. You got to minimize those mistakes. We saw a lot of them in practice, saw a couple of them in qualifying. Who will come out on top? We're about to find out here on 3 Wide TV. Green flag in the flagman's hand. The Porsche pulls onto pit road, and we're about set to go. Green flag racing here. There's the green flag. We're underway here at the Glen, Bob.
And what a fantastic jump did the 27 have of Anthony DeBarro. Got a great start, able to get about a car length, maybe 2 car length lead ahead of the 17 of Ben Izenga, and they are off to the races down up through the S's right now. The 27 of DeBarro leads over Ben Izenga and Dave Harvey as they head up through the S's down towards the back straightaway.
Yeah, getting a pretty single file up kind of towards the front of the field now. Everyone trying to get situated through the S's. They all kind of end up going into single file mode, going into the bus stop. The number 99 machine is looking to make a move. That is Philip Scott there. He is running right behind David Harvey in the 5th position. Harvey with a pretty good qualifying run in his machine. But Harvey runs wide through the carousel, and he's going to go way wide. Look at that. He's going to lose a couple of positions. Now under fire from the number 13 of James Lorello. But Lorello ducks back in. Is he going to have a peek down in the braking zone into turn number 10? No, not this time. And whoa, man, he didn't, but he was a little bit later on those brakes and got really close to the back bumper of the number 77 Hisense Toyota Supra. But we're clean through lap number 1 at the Glen.
And that's all you can ask for here. Turn 1 is a tight right-handed corner, and everyone's starting 2 by 2 by 2. It's just a recipe for the turn 1 lap 1 running joke, I guess you could say, in racing. But everyone clean through lap 1 and looking good so far.
That is absolutely true. Up at the front, Anthony DeBarro checking out just a little bit, already up to a 2-second advantage over the S2R, number 17 of Ben Izenga. Big wiggle out of the NOS Energy Drink Supra back there. Here comes Tim Johnson. Is he going to have a peek down into the bus stop? No, he is not. They work their way through there into the carousel. Look at the rest of the field here. Getting pretty single file for right now, Bob. Probably some of these drivers just hoping to wait and see the stage caution on lap number 10. Just try and minimize those mistakes until you get to that point. They know that caution flag will come out. All things considered, we saw some really good lap times out of the drivers in qualifying. Here comes the number 99 of Tristan Mayer having a peek to the inside of Andrew Himmelman, but he ducks back in. That is definitely not the final turn. There we go. There's the final turn. Working their way through Himmelman and Mayer. I think that's a battle we're going to have to watch because Tristan Mayer does appear to be all over the back bumper of the number 6 machine right now. No, the 41 of Lucarelli's around up there at the top of the screen, and he has jumped out of the race car. Let's see what happened to him here on the 3-wide TV replay, Bob.
Yeah, it looks like just had a big moment. And like we had said, tire pressures are low. Tires are still a little bit cold as you come out of the final corner here. And the 41, just got a little bit too gas happy and spun it around and looped it right into the inside Armco barrier.
Yeah, that is a very tough break for the driver of the number 41 machine. Lucarelli has definitely not had a lot of luck as of late. There's your race leader. Tristan Mayer was finally able to get around Andrew Himmelman. You see the number 98 Roush High Performance machine just in front of the SimShots number 6 Ford Mustang as they head their way down through the carousel. So just as we thought that pass was going to come eventually, it finally did. Now we'll see if Mayer can run down the number 76, the Unicat 76 of Gale Brooks right in front of him. Great looking Ford Mustang right there. I really dig that paint scheme. Some great sponsor integration. Jason Freeman and the 77 of David Harvey going toe to toe. In fact, this is a battle right now for the 7th position. Harvey has lost 4 positions from the start of the race, perhaps maybe thinking about saving his tires, but maybe a little bit of a lockup from the number 77 machine down into turn number 1, and he's going to lose a position in his Toyota Supra, lose a couple of positions in that Supra. He's now back to 10th, going to lose another one to Tristan Mayer. He's back to 11th.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the kind of momentum track Watkins Glen is. Harvey had just a little bit of a lockup heading down into turn number 1. He already lost about 3 or 4 spots after that turn, and now the next car to look to set his sights on him is the 21 machine of Nick Cohan.
Yeah, so that is going to be an interesting battle for the 11th position. Here we got a train of cars forming right behind the number 20 machine of Jason Freeman. He is currently 10.8 seconds behind your race leader, Anthony DeBarro, up to a 4-second advantage. You're not missing anything up at the front of the field, except there is a battle for second that continues to rage on between the number 17, and that is a lot of curb there for Ben Izenga, and that might give the number 28 machine of Johnson a run here off into turn number 1. It does. Here comes the number 28 machine down into turn number 1. Hard on the brakes. Got the preferred line. And is he going to take away that position? Izenga's holding tough for now, and Johnson having some connection issues. Finally back there on the racetrack. And looks like he is going to get himself headed back up there into the 2nd position.
Yeah, what a great move there by the 28 of Johnson, able to get down low underneath the 17 and really just capitalize on that little tiny bobble that the 17 had coming out of the final corner. And, I mean, that was kind of all she wrote there, is Johnson able to make the move down into turn 1, and he'll take over 2nd.
And here comes Nick Cohan in the number 21 machine. We talked about it just a little while ago that he had caught up to the number 77 machine, and sure enough, 20 machine going around. Jason Freeman having a big moment, able to get it corralled back up, but Freeman, one of our chase drivers, having a big moment there in the carousel.
And, I'm not sure if he got any of the wall there, but, it looked like, again, another situation where just got a little bit too much gas into it, slid it, drifted it through the corner, somehow kept it off of the wall, and he's able to keep going.
Yeah, we'll get one more look at it. Just seemed like he just broke loose there coming out of the bus stop, and did a great job keeping it off the inside wall. And he's going to lose a couple of positions. You see him right back there behind the number 1 machine, the all-black number 1 of Jason Graphix, your reigning series champion. So move Jason Freeman back to the 16th position. We'll try and highlight the battles that are going on out there on the racetrack right now. Gale Brooks, Nick Cohan. This is a battle for the 9th position just inside the top 10. The Unical number 76, big wiggle out the back of him. And here comes Cohan. So Cohan made the move on the 77, I think it was, of Harvey last lap, and now making the move on Gale Brooks into the bus stop. So move Brooks back to 10th. Cohan now up to 9th. He has gained 11 spots since the drop of the green flag.
And Cohan, he did not practice, nor did he set a qualifying lap either, so this is just kind of fresh out the gate for that 21, and so far he's looking pretty good, marching his way up through the field.
Yeah, definitely he is marching his way up through the field. There's Tristan Mayer right behind Nick Chambrone in his 01 machine. A little bit of a new look on the 01 this week. Mayer has lost 1 spot from where he started here tonight, but all things considered, kept it on the road, trying to get that 7th position right on back from Chambrone. Here as they head off into turn number 1, looks like he will. So move Mayer back up to the 7th position. Now going to have to try and run down Mitchell Adams, who is a couple of seconds up the road. We're getting problems from the number 54 machine. Kyle Lewis has had a moment. We'll see if there was any help here. It looks like that 54 all by himself coming here through the bus stop here, Bob, and looks like the same thing that happened to Jason Freeman a lap or two ago, but unfortunately for Kyle, he caught the inside wall.
And he's going to have to get going here as he's just in front of the leader, the 27, Anthony DeBarro. So, he's going to have to get going here. I'm not sure if he's going to think about heading down pit road. Before the race, he was having a tough time, as practice even started, just completing a lap. And, trouble of 38 of Vinny Valvano gets turned, going up through the S's, as he's got a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure out what happened to him. I think there might have been some contact with the number 97 machine. There's Mike Floppy Tellier right back behind Vincent Valvano going into the bus stop. So the carousel appears to be Calamity Corner right now. Big wiggle out the back of the number 20 of Freeman. They kind of get stacked up a little bit. No, I think Valvano there might have had a little bit of wheel spin like what we've been seeing out of some of the other cars. And unfortunately, the number 97, the Mike Floppy Tellier, was right there. There was contact between the two, and that is just a tough break for one of your chase drivers. Let's go on board here with the number 97 and look at the number 38 go to the outside. And man, I do think that that number 38 machine just had some wheel spin and unfortunately went down into him. Let's get one more look at that one here from the blimp cam. Going through the bus stop, 38. I think we'll start to see that wheel spin right there, and sure enough, there's the contact. Tough break for both of those drivers. If they can hopefully stay on the lead lap, get some of that damage fixed here in just a little bit. Kyle Lewis is having another moment. This is back on replay. This happened just a moment ago, going off into turn number 10. There is Tim Johnston right back behind him, just not able to get that 54 woed up. Goes rally crossing off through the sand there, Bob.
Yeah, it just got sideways, and I know the 54 was, I'm sure he was saying on the radio, go around, I'll give you space, and it's one of those things where, he's going to give space, but just ran out of space for himself. Oh, wow, some strategy plays here now for these drivers. Lap 9, and a couple guys heading down pit road to pit now and get that track position.
Yeah, this is a smart move. We're just a lap or so away from the stage break. that we're going to have. And of course, Bob, the only reason you would want to pit here is if you're one of those drivers trying to pick up some stage points, because stage points are given away to the top 5 finishers here in the series at the stage break. But if you're not one of those drivers, you might as well come down pit road, because you're not going to have to pit under this caution flag. Basically everyone else will. I say a lot of everyone else. But we'll have to see if they can get off pit road in time, because there is a chance they could get lapped by the number 27 of DeBarro. The next car off pit road is Jason Freeman. There's Steven Kegman. He is the last car on the lead lap right now, did not just pit. So it looks like every driver who came on pit road is still on the lead lap. We're hearing that the number 98 machine, Tristan Mayer, might have just had a moment in his Ford Mustang. You see him losing a spot there to Nick Cohan. He's going to drop back to 7th. Let's see what happened here to the number 98 machine here, Bob.
Yeah, so it looks like 98 heading down into turn number 10. And just got in there a little bit too hot, had an off-track excursion, and, well, that was just enough for the 98 to be passed by the 21.
Yeah, and lap number 10, caution flag has come out. So that is going to be the stage break. Give it to Anthony DeBarro, who did come down pit road. Bob, he came down pit road right there at the end of the stage. I don't know if he's going to be scored with the stage win after that, or how that's all going to work out. But that's a interesting strategy call for DeBarro to come down pit road, and then he gets the benefit of the caution flag while pit road was still open. If he won that stage and was able to get down pit road, then that's a really good move. Of course, DeBarro's not going for a championship. This is only his 3rd race here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, but I think he saw what some of those other cars did and thought, you know what, maybe I should try that. Although I'm wondering here, Bob, is maybe a penalty or something, because he's letting a whole bunch of cars on by him.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I don't see anything popping up in the race day chat, so who knows what's going on there, but right now it's looking like Timothy Johnston is going to be scored as our leader right now, so that could be very interesting over these next few minutes.
Yeah, of course, he was able to scoot away to a pretty healthy lead up at the front of the field, but Tim Johnston, Ben Izenga, no slouch for either of those drivers. There's the number 99 machine of Philip Scott, 3rd place right now in that Ford Mustang. James Lorello back behind him. Excuse me. There is the S2R, number 13, there on the left-hand side of your screen. And then here comes the biggest mover of the race so far, Nick Cohan, one of the Dizzy Motorsports machine, that bright orange number 21. Of course, Nick, I think we broadcasted Nick for a couple of races a couple of seasons ago in the American Sim Racing Series, and now over here in the Total Nonstop Racing Series here on 3Y TV. Great to see him. Very, very fast driver from what we have seen here in the only 3 races that he has done in his Toyota Supra. Tristan Mayer back behind him. Been a kind of an interesting night for that number 98 so far. Bill Edwards comes into tonight 2nd place in points in his bright number 50 machine. Got chrome on that car. You see some cars locking it up there at the top of your screen, just trying to get slowed up. And for right now, Anthony DeBarro on the 27 machine, he's well back in the pack. I think he might have got an end of longest line penalty in that Supra. How's that going to come back to affect him through this race here tonight? Definitely going to be an interesting one if it does affect him. But here come the leaders onto pit road, Bob, because pit road is open. Wait, yeah, pit road is not open. Look at that. The red light is on. Does everyone know that the red light is on? Or maybe we're getting a graphical bug here. That's very possible that, iRacing might be doing something kind of dumb. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if pit road is closed and everyone's coming down, everyone's going to have an end of longest line penalty. But surely they know better than that if everyone's coming down pit road.
Yeah, because even on my side of things in the session that the pit road closed lights were on. So, I mean, I would assume that the pit road was open and we're both getting this graphical glitch, but either way, the majority of the field is going to be pitting, and out in front, it's actually going to be the one, our previous champion, Jason Gracias, leading, with Mitchell Adams following him up in second.
Yeah, so there is your front group of cars right now headed their way down the long backstretch up into the bus stop. You see the 27 machine, Anthony DeBarro, working his way on through. Now we'll get to find out whether he does indeed have some type of end of longest line penalty. You see the field trying to form up there behind the Porsche pace car. Get a great look here on entry into the bus stop. You can really see how the drivers charge the entry to the bus stop. Look at all that rubber buildup there on the inside curbing there on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You really got to charge that bus stop if you want to be fast here at the Glen.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be able to get in there as quick as possible, but also stay smooth. I mean, that bus stop is pretty treacherous, especially exiting, as we've seen already in this race. It's already jumped up and bit a couple of drivers as they were exiting the bus stop, and getting into the bus stop is equally as important. I've seen a few times, even in practice, where if you turn in just a little bit too early, you meet that inside corner of the wall, and you hit that thing, you bounce all the way across the track. We could see a track blocker if someone turns in just a little bit too soon.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. We'll have to wait and see and hope, cross our fingers that we don't see one of those big accidents. But I've been involved in one of the biggest accidents I've ever seen here at Watkins Glen. Played it for everyone here in the Total Nonstop Racing League earlier today. Happened all the way back around 2008, back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 season days. And it was a big one, folks. It was a big one. Took out over half the field here at the Glen, and hopefully we don't see that here tonight, but you never know. It could very well happen. All it takes is a little bit of a few cars going sideways, and it could be quite the stack-up. There's the number 28 machine. Go ahead there, Bob.
No, I was saying that's for sure. I mean, we've even seen it in real-life NASCAR racing where, especially coming out of Turn 1, heading up towards the S's, you get off there, you hit that oddly angled wall, shoot your car all the way across the track. Even right up here in the S's where you had that incident in the NR03 days too. I mean, this is a very tight track that very well could have track blockers with everyone racing so close together.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Looks like the field starting to get doubled up here, potentially for a restart this lap. iRacing on road courses, a bit unique. Sometimes the pace car lights just wait to go off until you're on the back half of the racetrack, but seems like they're going to stay on at least for right now. Kyle Lewis, the number 54 machine, was the lucky dog under the caution flag, so he will get back on the lead lap. You see the 54 Toyota Supra just a little bit worse for wear. He's hustling his way to get to the back half of the field. I think that's probably why the caution lights have continued to stay on that Porsche safety car here tonight. But Jason Gracias is the number one, going to pick up a point for leading a lap here tonight. I'm sure he'll be excited about that. Mitchell Adams in the number 36 machine, trying to play a little bit of the strategy games. Jason Freeman, Timothy Johnson, Ben Izenga, and Anthony DeBarro. So it doesn't look like DeBarro got a speeding penalty or anything in his number 27 machine. He's going to stay, relatively up near the front, Bob, but it's going to be exciting to see him with all the pace he's got charged to the front.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see him try to slice his way up through the field. Right now he's currently in 6th. Only 5 cars that he's going to have to get through to get back up to the lead, but those 5 cars in front of him are absolutely no slouches. Jason Gracias, fantastic driver. Mitchell Adams, like we've mentioned before, a great road racer. Timothy Johnson, Ben Izenga as well, another great road racer. But Jason Freeman also, we saw him have a little bit of trouble coming out of the bus stop and heading in towards the carousel as well. So, this could very well be an interesting first corner here when they go green next time by.
There's the number 48 machine of Chris Gibbo. He started in the 12th position, currently being scored in 15th here under this caution flag. Chris has been one of the other drivers kind of late to the game this season here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, but I really dig that really bright red number 48 machine that he's got here tonight. Behind him, is Don Runkle Jr. in the number 16 machine. Got Mission 22 on the hood of his Ford Mustang. There he is. Behind him, Mike Floppy Tellier, one of our chase drivers, involved in an accident a little while ago with the number 38 of Vincent Valvano, who will be starting pretty close to that number 97 machine here on this restart. David Harvey back there in the 77. He started up near the front of the field. Not been the night that the number... where did he go? Number 77, there he is. Not the night he wanted, as 21, Nick Cohan. He's going to slide his way through the bus stop there. Going to try and gain his position on back here. It seems like interesting call. Maybe he didn't want to rough up any feathers there through the bus stop up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that bus stop is pretty tight. We've seen a lot of drivers opt to skip the bus stop during these yellow flag laps. Really no harm, no foul, no penalty for it, but always interesting to see drivers just say, yeah, I'm going to keep going straight.
On the right-hand side of your screen, you see the current weather conditions here at Watkins, Glen in upstate New York. Ambient air temperature of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature down at only 87 degrees. That is a pretty cool racetrack here tonight. Going to give these drivers quite a bit of grip here when we go back green in just about one corner from right now. Jason Gracias will be leading us to the green flag. Jason Freeman in the number 20 also tried to use that strategy call to get some track position. There goes the pace car. And Bob, we're about to go back green here for what might be the final time here tonight.
Absolutely. Green flag is out, and a great jump there by the one of Jason Gracias. He's going to try to do his best to lead the field down into turn number 1, but look at this field fanning out too wide there. And the 13 almost gets in the back of the 99, but here's the 98 of Tristan Mayer trying to make a move on the outside of the 6 of Andrew Himmelman. But as we look up front, heading up through the S's, the one of Jason Gracias has a pretty decent lead on the 36 of Mitchell Adams.
Yeah, you see everyone trying to get a single file through the S's. This is where it gets a little slippery if you get the power down just a little bit too much, but everyone doing a great job there. Now everyone charging into the bus stop. It looked like, the number 50 there of Bill Edwards really charging into it. You see DeBarro trying to get underneath the number 20 machine right now of Jason Freeman. Looks like he's going to pull off the pass here through the carousel. He's going to have his sights now set on the back of the number 28 of Tim Johnston, his teammate, who's running right behind Mitchell Adams. But for right now, it's still Jason Gracias in his number 1 machine. A little bit of a lockup there from one of your top drivers. Not sure if that was Gracias or not, but for right now, Gracias is going to hold on to the race lead.
Yeah, Gracias with a great lap right there, able to keep ahead of Mitchell Adams, but just behind those two, the 27 and 28 of Johnston and DeBarro looking to set their sights on the lead, and here comes Johnston looking to the inside of Mitchell Adams.
And look at DeBarro already over the back bumper of these two. He's going to try and make this pass on Mitchell Adams. He goes pretty much from 6th to 3rd in a single lap around this racetrack. Jason Freeman now all up out of shape going up through the S's, almost making contact there with Nick Cohan. They get things sorted back out between both of them. Let's check out on DeBarro and Johnson. Looks like Johnson now closing in on the back of your race leader, the number 1 machine. Here comes Nick Cohan making a charge underneath the 20 of Freeman, and some connection issues between them. And now we got the number 98. A big wiggle out of the back of Tristan Mayer. He gets out of the groove. He's going to open up the door for Andrew Himmelman. And it seems like the 6 and the 98, you just kind of can't separate those two here tonight.
Yeah, those two drivers are just stuck onto each other, it seems, as we take a look here. A battle for the lead. The 28 of Johnson looking to take the long way around through turns number 10, and only to set himself up on the inside of turn 11, but no need as the 28 of Timothy Johnson takes the lead. Anthony DeBarro follows right in his tire tracks, and he'll take over 2nd.
Yeah, and here comes Mitchell Adams trying to get on past that number 1 machine as well as they head down into the turn number 1. You see all these cars going up over the rumble strips and out on up into the S's. Looks like Izenga going to get that pass made on the number 1 of Jason Gracias. So move Izenga now back up into the 4th position. Qualified in 2nd position here tonight and now running in 4th. Now going to try and close in on Mitchell Adams. Of course, Izenga and Adams both run in our Friday night series here on the channel. The National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series, as there was a big lockup back there. Not sure who that was into the bus stop, but let's watch James Lorello, Jason Freeman, these two battling for the 8th position right now.
Yeah, good battle here between your points leader, James Lorello, and the 20 of Jason Freeman. Right now, Freeman has the position, but Lorello, braking pretty late, heading off into turn number 10, and he's looking to get a good run out of 11 down that front straightaway as another car locks him up just in front of them.
Oh, Jason Freeman's around in the number 20 machine, and whoa, almost had a incident with the wall there in that number 20 machine. Let's see if we can go back and catch this one here on the replay, see exactly what happened to him. Gets on the power into the side of the number 13 machine and somehow was able to keep it out of those bright yellow barrels.
Wow, what a great save there by the 20. I know he got into the quarter panel of the 13 of Lorello, but man, Freeman almost got into those yellow barrels there and somehow kept it off of them and looks no worse for wear.
On board with Nick Cohan, there was a little bit of contact with the 99 of Philip Scott there coming out of turn number 1. They were able to keep things going somewhat cordially between them. The 99 now has some rear end damage and I'm sure a little bit of front end damage. And the 99 Scott's wide. Scott able to corral it back onto the racetrack, but not a good lap here for the number 99 of Philip Scott.
Yeah, definitely. It's not great losing a few positions, but getting some damage on your race car as well is definitely a recipe for a frustrating lap.
We'll see if we can figure out the pass for third was made by the number 17 of Ben Izinga, able to get around the number 49 of Mitchell Adams. We'll get this one here on the replay. Going down into turn number 1, you see all that carnage that was happening there in the background, but Izinga able to just sneak underneath the number 36 machine. And as I say that, things have reversed up at the front of the field. So now we have to go back, Bob, and see how things changed back.
Always a good time when things are a little bit hectic on the replays just because of how much action is going on out there on the track, as the 17 just got a little bit too hot heading down to turn 1, and 36 says, "Excuse me, pardon me, thank you, I'm coming through."
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Philip Scott has got up to the back bumper of Jason Gracias. There goes Philip underneath the number 1. So Gracias, who was your leader just a handful of laps to go, he's now slid all the way back to the back half of the top 10. Here comes Bill Edwards. He wants to get that 9th position from Gracias. But you see a couple of lockups here off into turn number 10, one of the heavier braking zones here at Watkins, Glen. And another pretty good passing zone. I wouldn't say turn 10 is the best passing zone here at the racetrack. Not quite as good as turn number 1 or the bus stop, but nonetheless, you can make passes as Harvey there at the top of the screen getting really close to the tire barriers out of turn number 11.
Yeah, got all out of sorts there, just like we saw the 20 and the 41 earlier in the race there. And it's just one of those corners where it's almost deceiving. Coming out of the corner, you're thinking, all right, I can get the power on now, and next thing you know, you have no traction in the back tires, you start spinning them, and next thing you know, you're in the wall.
But right now for the front, Tim Johnston up to a 1.4 second lead over Anthony DeBarro. DeBarro now in second. We saw him lead pretty much all of the first stint. Now we're watching this train of cars. Big wiggle out of the back of the number 6 Simshots Ford Mustang there, trying to get into the bus stop, and Edward trying to get a run to the high side now of Jason Gracias. They go side by side here through the carousel. Edwards trying to take the long way around, and I think he's going to take that spot. Pinches the number 1 of Gracias. Gracias not able to get on the power soon enough, and here comes Himmelman. He's going to take advantage as well in the Simshots Ford.
Yeah, Himmelman able to capitalize there. Got a great move around the 1 of Gracias, and he's on his way now through turns 10 and 11 with a really fantastic move. And now looking on the outside of Gracias is the 01 of Chembrone, and looks like a couple drivers heading down pit road now.
Yeah, so both Philip Scott and Jason Gracias coming down at lap number 20. So they're probably going to try a 3-stopper here tonight between each of them. One driver I wanted to highlight is that driver right there. That's the number 35 machine of Lupe Gonzalez, working his way up through the S's right now. Qualified in 13th and has put together a pretty solid night, a quiet night so far in the first half of the race. As sure enough, we are now in the back half of the maxgraphics.co at the Glen race here on 3Wide TV, race number 14 of the Total Nonstop Racing Thornton Graphix Grand National Series season. And you can see Gonzalez there wheeling it through the bus stop. David Harvey has a moment. He goes off the racetrack back behind, back on to the race course, but he's going to lose a spot to Chris Gibbeau in the number 48 HendrickCars.com Chevy Camaro as they head down the backstretch. And Harvey now all of a sudden trying to take that position back with a little bit of look to the inside. Not this time.
Yeah, Harvey having just a night he'd like to forget. Started third, had a great qualifying run, but ever since the drop of the green flag, just kind of started dropping back and back and back. And right now, Harvey's sitting in the 13th position. Just has more potential than the night is showing right now.
Nick Chambrone and Gail Brooks on pit road, the 01 and the number 76 coming down there. You see the number 7 Garrett Gleason, who's taking his car to the garage as expected there after the stage break. We did also see Tony Lucarelli after his spin. He came down pit road and he parked it. So 2 cars out of the race here tonight. We're looking at the hottest battle on the racetrack right now. I take that. Nope, don't take that back because it is still James Zorello and Tristan Mayer, the 2 closest cars. But as I say that, I think David Harvey, whoa, going a little rally crossing there through the bus stop, and still getting sideways. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Harvey on pit road this time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure his tires are absolutely shot after sliding it through the bus stop like that, and especially with pit stops and green flag pit stops going through right now. I would expect to see him on pit road fairly soon.
There you see the distance between Lorello and Tristan Mayer, and both of those cars doing some tandem drafting coming out of turn number 11 to the stripe this time. We'll see how that gap increases. Looks like it's going to get just a little bit smaller, and Mayer getting all over the back bumper of the number 13, but has a big wiggle coming out of the corner, and just like that, he is going to lose pretty much all the ground that he had picked up on Lorello over the last lap or 2.
Yeah, and that just goes to show how much of a momentum track Watkins Glen is. Just a little bobble like that, and you lose everything that you had gained just then and there.
Here we are looking at the number 6 machine as well as Lupe Gonzalez as they battle their way on through the racetrack, coming their way into the carousel right here. Good job by both of those drivers. Battling it out here just inside the top 10 as we are, of course, in some a pit cycle out there on the racetrack. We'll wait and see whether it works out for some of these drivers. Looks like we got some 3-stoppers, Bob. We got possibly some 2-stoppers. It'll be interesting to see exactly how it all shakes out here at the end of the night. But we have had, and how did this happen? We must have missed this one quite some time ago, folks, because up at the front of the field, we have a new race leader. How about that? Let's see if we can figure out what happened up at the front of the field, because it is now Anthony DeBarro back where he was earlier in the race, up at the front, leading the race tonight.
Yeah, didn't exactly see what had happened there, but the 27 with a good run there. And let's see, chasing down the 28 of the 28 Johnson just lost it coming out of turn 1, and he says, well, all right, I guess I'll take it, as he heads off into the S's.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure out here what happened to Tim Johnson. Let's see if we can go kind of get a look at it from this camera in turn number 1. See, looks like he just got a little bit of wheel hop on entry. You see that long slide back end comes around, and oh man, Tim Johnson was doing such a great job up at the front of the field, and he is now going to have to try and claw himself back here at the front of the field. So DeBarro up to a 7-second lead right now. Tim Johnson in second, and looks like we got James Zorello, the S2R machine, coming down pit road right here with about 14 or so laps to go. Lupe Gonzalez joining him on pit road back there in the number 35 machine. So these drivers, I think, Bob, basically making what we expect to see their final pit stop of the night, it seems.
Yeah, with just over 13 to 14 laps to go, barring any green-white checkers, knock on wood, it looks like that this could be, this very well could be, the last round of pit stops. And, just before we're watching the 27 take the lead, it looked like the 6 of Andrew Himmelman might have had a bit of an off. Looks like he spun coming out of the final corner, was able to collect it and get himself down pit road, no worse for wear. But looks like right now he's being scored one lap down, possibly, as everything was going on.
Now let's see if we can see what happened to the number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman coming into the final corner. Man, David Harvey also having a big moment back there in the number 77 machine. But yeah, Himmelman having a big slide, just making contact with the inside wall. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to the number 77 machine, who had a big off as well. Looks like he just ran wide there, Bob. We've seen that a couple times out of the drivers, and going off dirt tracking it through the gravel.
Yeah, just ran wide, and that grass really, when you get wide and get those 2 right side tires off into the grass, it just kind of pulls your car around and pulls you out into the gravel. So obviously the fastest way is to keep it on the pavement, but once you get out there, you're just kind of at the mercy of physics.
So there is your current race leader, Anthony DeBarro, working his way through the carousel. We expect to see him on pit road potentially as early as this lap in the DeBarro slider, number 27 Toyota. He's looking for race win number 2 in his first 3 starts here, and you can see he's just stretching it out right now on the number 28 machine of Timothy Johnson back behind him. Next car in third is the number 50 of Bill Edwards, hopefully enjoying this open racetrack right now. Trying to turn some hot laps in his Chevy Camaro. He's 14.5 seconds or so behind your race leader. Then you got Chris Cabot back there. Seeing Don Runkle Jr., something must have happened to the number 16 machine here, Bob, because that is a lot of damage. Also seeing Kyle Lewis might have had a moment in the number 54. This is back on the 3-wide TV replay. This happened just a little while ago going through the bus stop. There's the number 17 to Ben Izenga, and gets on the grass right in front of Izenga, and fantastic job by Izenga there to just sneak around him.
Wow, what a great heads-up play there by Izenga, seeing the 54 sliding in front of him and able to get the car on the binders, woed up just enough to get around the sliding 54 of Lewis.
So the 27 machine, Anthony DeBarro, comes down pit road here, back out there onto the racetrack. So he sure enough made that final pit stop here tonight. Tim Johnston in his number 28 machine also coming down for a pit stop. Seems like a longer pit stop time out of Tim Johnston. And indeed, it was a 20-second pit stop here, Bob. He's going to lose about 5 seconds to DeBarro, who had a 15-second pit stop. So not sure if Johnson there having a big wiggle up through the final bit of the S's, having a big slide through the top of the S's. Jeez. Cold tires, low tire pressures there, Bob.
Yeah, just a recipe for disaster there as the 28 got a little squirrely again. But, I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the beast here at Watkins Glen. A lot of grip because the temperature, but really not a lot of grip with the tires, low pressures, cold tires. Not a whole lot of grip in that instance, and you really have to be ginger with the throttle a few laps after you pit.
Yeah, that is for sure. Trying to see if I can figure out what happened to Don Runkle, but I'm not seeing anything right now. I think the only thing that I'm seeing was well back. Let's see if this is it. This was, well. Here we go. This is it. This was quite a long time ago. Earlier in the race, around lap number 16. It definitely had a moment. Did he make contact with the wall? No, not at that point. So that wasn't it, folks. But that was on lap number 16 here tonight. Meanwhile, back live up at the front of the field, it is DeBarro trying to close in on the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. This is a battle for the race lead. Tellier on old tires, DeBarro on new tires, and just like that, Anthony DeBarro back out front with 10 laps to go this time by.
Nice and simple and really making it look easy. The 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier, he's a really good road racer, so don't let that move think anything about the driver. Tellier, a fantastic road racer, but those fresh tires for the 27 of DeBarro really making the difference here.
Yeah, there is Tellier. He's going to go another lap here in his number 97 machine. Here comes Bill Edwards, the number 50. He's coming down pit road this time. And let's see, when was the last time as Anthony DeBarro turns the fastest lap of the race? A 1:14.64. He's just getting faster in his Toyota up at the front of the field. Really, really impressive here to turn the fastest lap at this stage of the race. Bill Edwards in his machine, he's going to fall quite a ways through the field here, Bob, as he sits on pit road, but he's going to have fresh tires once he gets back out there on track.
Yeah, fresh tires means faster laps, and the 50 of Bill Edwards, he's still in this championship fight, only a few points out of first place behind the 13 of James Lorello. And I mean, right now, looking at Lorello, he's currently running in about the fourth or fifth position as he gets passed by the 20 of Timothy Johnston. Lorello having a great run, able to keep himself up there on top of the point standings, and everyone else is just trying to have to get as many points as they can as this race rolls on.
That is the case. Big wiggle there out of Mitchell Adams coming out of the carousel onto the backstretch. We've seen that quite a bit here tonight, showing just how much of a handful these Thornton Graphix Grand National Series cars can be for these drivers, especially here on a road course. Of course, we've only raced 2 this season here on 3Wide TV in the Total One Stop Racing League. We'll see what racetracks we get to go to next year. But we got a lot of discussion about where we go to next week in the chat. That's right, Darlington next week here on 3Wide TV. The Lady in Black, Tana Himmelman says, the track that's too tough to tame. We'll see if anyone can tame the Lady in Black next week here on 3Wide TV. Nick Cohan in the number 21 machine. After all that, Bob, the driver who started so far back in the field is running in second, started 20th. Now up there, but he does have a very fast number 28 machine trying to track him down.
Yeah, right now the 21 of Nick Cohan's going to be my vote for driver of the day. If we were giving out any awards. Started 20th, didn't put a single lap down in qualifying or practice, and right now running in second, but looking just behind him as you see him coming into the frame, the 28 machine of Timothy Johnston led a few laps. The only reason he got passed by DeBarro is because he had a bit of a moment coming out of turn number 1, and that 28 machine, he's got a quick car, and if a caution were to come out, he could really put on some pressure to that 27 of DeBarro.
Yeah, so Cohan going to come down here to the start-finish line. We'll check what that time difference looks like now, just down to about 2 seconds. It is closed down from 3.6 down to 2 in about 3 laps here, about 3 or 4 laps. So definitely we could be looking at a battle for second place here on the podium here when this is all said and done. James Lorello running in fourth right now. That's where he wants to be. Comes into tonight as the points leader, Bob. And how important will it be for Lorello to finish up here inside the top 5?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, he's only got a handful of points as his lead right now over, I believe, Bill Edwards. So, this top 5 run right now, he's got to stay in the top 5, really capitalize on as many points as possible. And, I mean, just a few spots behind him, Ben Izinga, another driver, really going to have to capitalize and move his way up. This chase has not been very kind to that 17 machine, and, he as well is going to have to get up there and get on his horse and try to collect as many points as possible here.
Here we got Nick Chambrone, Lupe Gonzalez. This is the battle for the 7th position here, and you can see that that battle has been brewing over the last couple of laps or so. That number 35 machine of Lupe Gonzalez, we've mentioned it a couple times here tonight, that Gonzalez has had a quiet but fantastic run here inside the top 10 right now. You see that gap just balloon out a little bit that last lap. We'll see whether or not Lupe can regather it and get that number 35 pointed in the back, in the right direction to the back bumper of Chambrone's bumper here over the next couple of laps. But that battle's going to calm down just for a moment. Back behind them, that is David Harvey and Gale Brooks. This is a battle for position for the 11th spot right now as they head up through the S's. We'll keep our eyes on that. And then Mike Floppy Tellier and Jason Freeman. This is a battle between these two drivers for the 14th position. Freeman, one of the chase drivers. Same thing with Mike Floppy Tellier. And, you got to go for every point that you can get, Bob.
Yeah, definitely. And if I'm the 97, I kind of know in the back of my mind, all right, the 20 has had a few excursions off track, whether getting sideways or just, running it off the track. And, oh, there we go. As I say it, the 20 gets squirrely yet again coming out of the bus stop. And now he's going to have to wait for the 98 of Mayer to come through. Oh, wow, just cutting right in front of Mayer. That would have been disastrous had they made contact.
Yeah, there might have been a little bit of contact there between a couple of our chase drivers as well. Let's see if there was any contact between the number 97 machine. I think we're going to have to go to the blimp cam to figure this one out. Let's slow this one down into 3-wide TV replay going over the bumps. Yeah, definitely contact there. You can see the left rear end of the Mason-Dixon cornhole number 20 get all crinkled up, and it's a couple of our chase drivers getting together and almost picked off the number 98 machine who was coming on through, Tristan Mayer. Let's go on board the nose of his machine. Here we go through the bus stop. There's the stranded number 20 machine. Oh, fantastic job there by Mayer to get that number 98 around the spinning car in front of him. Meanwhile, the battle between Lorello and Adams, well, give it to Lorello. Lorello able to get up into the 3rd position here tonight. Very, very impressive, but here comes Mitchell Adams trying to get him back on the inside. And Nick Cohan, what's happened to the number 21 machine? Cohan must have had an off here, Bob, because he's being scored well back.
Yeah, Cohan down in 5th place right now as you see him coming out of the final turn. Let's see here. He's going to dive down into turn number 10. Looks like he might have caught the rumble strips there on the inside. Oh, almost had it saved, looped it all the way around. Little 360 and kept on going.
And let's check on this battle between the number 13 and the number 36. This is actually still raging on. These two drivers not giving each other an inch here as they head their way up through the S's, just trading positions back and forth. And finally, looks like Lorello is going to take the spot. And here comes Nick Cohan. Let's see if we can go back live here. This is live picture now. 5 laps to go here at the maxgraphics.co at the Glen. And this is a 3-way battle for 3rd.
Yeah, this is just a fantastic battle right now. The 13 of James Lorello has the position. The 36 and the 21 want it. And, I mean, this is really going to go down to the wire now with 4 laps to go.
Lorello, Adams, and Cohan. Best battle out there on the racetrack right now. Looks like Lupe Gonzalez has gotten to the back bumper of Nick Chambrone as well. Jason Freeman, Andrew Himmelman battling for the 17th position. We have heard that Andrew Himmelman has had a couple of offs as well over the last couple of laps. So the chase driver in the number 6 Ford not having a good night here tonight. Going to try and bounce back next week at Darlington Raceway. But for right now, it's these 3. They are catching up to the lap traffic there of Don Runkle Jr. in his number 16 Ford. Looks like he's going to stay to the left side of the racetrack and out of the way of this 3-car battle for 3rd. Coming to 3 laps to go, this time by for your race leader, Anthony DeBarro.
And a great battle there. A little bit of a lockup there between the 36. Oh, the 36 has even more of a lockup as he decides to try to save the car and go straight through the bus stop area there. And unfortunately, that's going to cost him a whole boatload of time. As, the 6 of Andrew Himmelman has another off, and he's on his roof. Coming out of the final corner.
Well, we will see what happened to Adams there. Just got on the brakes too late and scooted on through the grass. He, like you said there, Bob, losing a ton of track position, lost the position as well to Ben Izenga and Nick Cohan. And let's see if we can figure out what happened to Andrew Himmelman here, the number 6 machine. You see he had all that damage on that race car. Bill Edwards right there. Contact with the S2R machine goes around and doink. Upside down for the number 6 machine. That is a tough break. We're hearing that Jason Freeman has just had an off as well. We'll see what happened to him right here. He goes off into the grass and, yeah, just has a big off. Tristan Mayer also just had a moment. The number 98 machine down in the 15th position. Not what I was expecting out of the number 98 machine. Tristan Mayer here going off in turn number 10. Just having a big moment. Let's check out the battle. Let's go back live here, however. And let's check out this battle for the last position on the podium, coming to just 2 laps to go for Anthony DeBarro. And it is still James Lorello holding onto the spot, but he's got the hard-charging 21 of Nick Cohan right behind him. The 21 made a mistake right here a couple laps ago, Bob, and he's trying to make up for it.
Yeah, definitely trying to make up for it, and he's had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack there, just cutting his way up through the field, and right now he's got his eyes set on the 13 of James Lorello. And Lorello, look at that, just kind of sneaking and cheating a little bit to the inside there to try to cut off the inside move by the 21, and a great heads-up play there by the 13, but the 13 might have gotten a little nudge in the back bumper there by the 21.
Yeah, just a little bit of a love tap. You know, that's just what you got to give sometimes when you're not giving each other an inch here at these road courses. Anthony DeBarro, 14.6 second lead. Unless something absolutely drastic happens, he will walk away with the win here in just about a lap and a half from right now. You look out back of the number 13 machine, looking at the front bumper of Nick Cohan, and that car that's looming back behind them, Bob, that's the 5th place machine of Ben Izenga right now, that NOS Energy Drink Toyota. And we know that Izenga, he's one of those drivers who's looking for a good race here tonight, because he comes into tonight 3rd place in points right behind his S2R teammates. That's right, S2R 1, 2, 3 in the standings coming into tonight. White flag is out for your race leader. We're on the final lap here at Watkins Glen. Anthony DeBarro working his way up through the S's for the final time. Gonna head down the backstretch. That's really the first backstretch. I don't know if you call this the backstretch, Bob, or the next stretch the backstretch, but they're kind of both backstretch. But into the bus stop for the final time here tonight for that Toyota Supra. Led a whole boatload of laps over the last couple of weeks, Bob. Been very much deserving of the win here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Really dominant from the green flag. Fastest lap in practice. Qualified on the pole. And the 21 gets around the 13 here of James Lorello. And as they get down the backstretch, let's see if Lorello has anything for the 21 of Cohan.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not he can fight back. Doesn't look like it's going to be here in the bus stop if it's going to happen. Back up at the front, the number 27, DeBarro, working his way through the final time, through the final corner. Gonna see the front stretch and see the checkers here at Watkins Glen. Checkered flag for the number 27 machine. DeBarro goes back to victory lane here in the TNR series. Very, very impressive for him. How about the battle between Cohan and Lorello? Looks like Cohan has an advantage. Tim Johnson is gonna sneak on through. We're getting word that Philip Scott might have just had a moment. We'll see what happened to the number 99 Ford Mustang here in just a moment. Coming out of the final corner, here comes Nick Cohan to finish in 3rd. Last place on the podium. James Lorello back behind him. Ben Izenga going to come across the line in 5th. Mitchell Adams, Dick Chambrone, and Lupe Gonzalez not able to make that pass stick at the end. Chris Gabot. And here is the battle for 10th spot, coming down to the wire between Jason Gracias and David Harvey. Harvey going to come across the line in 11th. But, the 99 of Philip Scott having a terrible last lap here. He had just lost the position to, I believe, the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the number 99 machine here at Philip Scott. Yeah, let's see. Did he just... whoa. Let's slow that one down here, folks. Let's not get... they're not driving at warp speed here tonight at Watkins Glen. Let's just dial that one back. Just going into the bus stop here a little bit too hot there, Bob. And I'm wondering if iRacing gave him the old slowdown. And he had to give up that some time because he kind of shortcutted it and just had to let Mike Teller... Ooh, had a huge wiggle there as well. Not a great night for Philip Scott, going to finish outside the top 10. And you have to think, Bob, that might be due to the fact that he did have kind of a rough pit strategy there. It seemed like he couldn't quite get on pit road when he wanted to.
Yeah, it looked like he was doing the three stop strategy, and just old tires there at the end of the race really did not pay off for him. But man, what a great race there by the 27 of Anthony DeBarro. Real just domination overall in tonight's race, and DeBarro definitely deserved of the win there tonight.
Don't even think he had enough fuel to do any burnouts here at Watkins Glen in the number 27. DeBarro sliders machine, 16-second win, Bob. Like you said, really, really impressive race for him. Timothy Johnson and Nick Cohan as well, finishing on the podium. Let's see if we can dial them up here tonight, Bob. Let's see. Why don't we start with the third place finisher, driver of the number 21 machine, Nick Cohan. Make sure we don't bring him in here with a hot mic. We've done that before, and it's gotten us into trouble here on the channel. So we'll put him into the holding pen for just a brief second. And Bob, why don't you take it away with driver of the number 21 machine, Nick Cohan?
Nick Cohan, Bob Giaquinto up here in the 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Got you, Bob.
Hey, Nick. Well, congratulations. Third place finish here at the Glen. Just first, take me through your race so far tonight.
I don't even know where to begin. I totally forgot this qualifying started at 8:30 and came in here with not much practice, not much at all. That first run was pretty much my practice run. I just my goal was just to stay on the track, and that's what I did. I stayed on track all night until I made one little mistake there at the end. I spun her, and that was the only mistake I made all night. Every time I got up to somebody, I kind of got lucky. They drifted off the track, or they got loose on exit, and I didn't have to fight too hard to pass anybody. It just happened to be lucky they'd make a mistake at the right time for me to slip on by. But yeah, I mean, I felt pretty good that second run there. I was pushing it pretty hard, and since I learned how the tires were in that first run, just tried to take care of it and keep it on the track, and we did that for the most part. But yeah, the CJ Automotive Toyota Supra was really fast. It's just not fast enough to catch up there with Ant and Tim.
Well, you know, Nick, you had even mentioned it, weren't there for practice, weren't there for qualifying, just kind of got into the session pretty much as laps were winding down. And how tough was that to kind of be out there and have that first stint as basically your practice session, starting in 20th, had to, you know, fight your way up through the field? I'm sure that must have been tough with really a car and track that you weren't really all that familiar with because you didn't get any practice time.
Yeah, Bob, we ran, me and Dizzy Motorsports teammates, we ran in another league, I think it was 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday night in the super late models here, and they were a handful. And so, you know, from 2 weeks ago, it's kind of similar. They kind of drove sort of the same. They're pretty loose on exit. And, you know, I've ran so many laps at this track. I kind of knew where I got to brake and all that stuff. It was just trying to get down the braking points that first run, and then just taking care of the tires. There's a lot of wheel spin on exit. And I think running last 2 weeks ago really, really helped, just because, you know, besides 2 weeks ago, I haven't ran here in a long time. So that would have been really bad if I didn't run that. But yeah, it was just, like I said, just keeping it on the track and learning your braking points and taking care of the tires. And a couple people in front of me just either overdrove it, got loose on the exit. You know, it happens here at Watkins Glen a lot, clipped the grass. And I just tried to avoid that and keep it out of trouble, and we did that for the most part.
Definitely. Well, looking forward next week now, the series heads to Darlington, the Lady in Black. Also a bit of a throwback race for the Total Nonstop Racing League as well. What are your thoughts on heading to Darlington next week?
Man, I can't wait. I love Darlington. It's a lot of fun. Slipping and sliding around and banging into the wall, and just a real tough track to pass, real hard on tires. I hope we can have some long green flag runs like we've had here at TNR. These guys are really good. Don't really seem to make a ton of mistakes on the ovals, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be tough to win that one. I know Ant's going to be fast up there, and Darlington is one of my better tracks too, so it's going to be fun. You have to be aggressive there, and you know, pass whenever you can. And you know, it kind of stinks because there's not much room to pass the way it is in iRacing. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure we're going to put on a really good show for you guys. That's for sure, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you guys out there. Nick, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs for us? Yeah, just want to thank CG Automotive for being on the car, Perk Coffee, Joey Gattina, all my teammates at Dizzy Motorsports, TNR, and 3 Wide TV for putting on this awesome league and awesome broadcast. We're really having a good time here.
Awesome. Well, Nick, thank you very much, and congratulations on finishing third, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week at Darlington.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for our third place interview with the driver of the number 21 machine. But let's see if we can dial up Tim Johnston here tonight. Tim, Peter Short, 3 Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for a little bit of a mishap there in turn number 1, you could have been going to victory lane, but it seemed like Anthony was able to pull away from you there at the end of the race nonetheless. But talk us through tonight, because you definitely had a lot of pace in the number 28 machine. Started up there in 4th and ending up there 2nd on the podium.
Yeah, we definitely had a great Dizzy Motorsports USAA Supra. I think that Ant had me on the short runs, but I could get him on the long runs. And I guess that one corner going into turn 1, that one lap, I guess I just went in just a little too hot and wheel hopped, and she did a real lazy spin, and I couldn't catch it.
Yeah, it looked like a really lazy spin. It just felt like it went on for an eternity up here in the booth as well. And I know that I've succumbed to those many a time, and they're never fun, because you think you might get it and you just never do. But nonetheless, great run for you. The only mistake that you made here tonight, when you can get out of a road course only making one mistake and still ending up on the podium, that's a pretty good night.
Yeah, that was true. I mean, it was actually fun. After that, when I pitted for some odd reason, my fuel guy didn't fuel the car till after the tires were changed. I had like a 20-second pit stop. So the laps were winding down. It was pretty fun trying to catch Nick, and I thought we were going to have a real good battle, and then he kind of did the same thing I did and had a lazy spin too.
Yeah, we heard that your fuel man was too busy drinking some upstate wine in your pit box. But you know what? He was able to get the job done, and you were able to get the job done here tonight, finishing home 2nd. But next week we go to Darlington for the track that's too tough to tame. What are your thoughts about Darlington?
Darlington is it's a love or hate track for me. I've had good runs, and then I've crashed quite a bit. So hopefully we can have a good run next week, and for the throwback race, got something special for that. So I'm definitely looking forward to Darlington.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun one up here in the booth, as always, here in the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. But hey, coming home 2nd here tonight in the MaxGraphics.co at the Glen. Before we let you go, any shout-outs there, Tim?
Yeah, just give a shout-out to my sponsors, USAA, Amsoil, Hot Wheels, Meguiar's, Advocare, Hawkinsfeld Pedals, Dizzy Motorsports, and all my teammates. It's like I said, I think it's the best team in iRacing. And thanks to you guys for such a great broadcast, and all the guys at TNR for putting this on every week.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, congratulations on coming home with a podium here tonight. Coming home 2nd, and we'll see you next week at Darlington.
Sounds great, guys. See you next week.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our 2nd place interview. And I think that Mr. Bob Giaquinto's caught up with tonight's race winner, driver of the number 27 machine, Anthony DeBarro.
Anthony DeBarro, Bob Giaquinto up here in the 3 Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Anthony. Well, we're doing pretty good. I'm sure you're doing even better. Getting the win here tonight at Watkins Glen, and well, just what else can I say than a dominating performance out there on the racetrack? Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, fastest in the race as well. Man, a great run out there for you tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say fast overall in the race. I think Tim was really good on the long runs there. He made that one mistake. I think he wheel hopped into turn 1, and I was able to get by him. But I was making quite a bit of mistakes of my own trying to get to him, so it was really difficult. So I would love to see him not make that mistake. We could have raced it out, but we had a good car. I mean, I think honestly, what contributes to me being so good here is I have about 5 to 6 hours of real life experience on this track, so I know pretty much the ins and outs of this place, and I did driving school here too. So it's one of it is my best road course. I'm not really as good on the other ones.
Fair enough, and just a little bit of a strategy call there just before the stage break. There, you went down pit road, wound up getting the stage win while on pit road. Tell me a little bit about that strategy call there.
Yeah, it didn't work out because for some odd reason, when I came off pit road in the middle of the pack, iRacing decided to put me all the way at the way back, and the time I got caught back up when the leaders pitted, it put me out. What was I, 6th there on the restart? So it didn't work out how I envisioned, but I was surprised more guys didn't try to do that. But obviously, it wasn't the right call. I should have just stayed up behind the pace car, and I would have been in a better spot. But it worked out in the end, and we had, like I said, it was an awesome car tonight. I mean, it made me look good.
That's for sure, and you look fantastic out there on the racetrack. Looking forward next week now, Darlington Raceway, the Lady in Black. What are your thoughts as we head to Darlington next week?
Yeah, hopefully keep it out of the fence. I mean, that's just a fun joint. I think Cohan's gonna be really good there. That's a good track for him, and I just love that racetrack, and I'm super excited to participate in that race. And like I said, I'm thankful for them having us in this series, taking us on right before the playoffs start. And I'm having fun racing with everyone in this series. They're a good bunch of guys, and very respectful out there on the track.
Well, Anthony, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs for us?
Yeah, like I just said, the Total Nonstop Racing guys, I'm going to thank them again. And all the guys in Dizzy, Nick and Tim tonight. We had a fun time in Discord here, and we had a good race. 1, 2, 3. That's incredible.
That's for sure. A podium finish for the Dizzy Motorsports guys. Anthony, congratulations again, and we're looking forward to having you out there on the racetrack next week at Darlington.
Thank you. Looking forward to talking to you guys again.
All right, well, folks, that's going to do it for our post-race interviews here in the MaxGraphics.co at the Glen. Let's see if we can bring up tonight's final finishing order for each and every one of you. Taking home the win, Anthony DeBarro in the number 27 machine, right in front of his teammate Tim Johnson, and right in front of his teammate Nick Cohan, finishing in third. Dizzy Motorsports sweeping the podium for the race here tonight. James Arella, Ben Izenga, the two S2R machines finishing in 4th and 5th, right back behind him. Right in front of Mitchell Adams, the Sim Shots Racing number 36 machine, making his 3rd start of the season here tonight, coming home with a solid 6th place. Nick Chambrone, another one of the Dizzy Motorsports machine, there up inside the top 10 in 7th. Lupe Gonzalez, Chris Cabot, 8th and 9th. And rounding out your top 10, Jason Gracias, your reigning series champion in the number 1 machine there, Bob.
And finishing off in 11th, the 77 machine of David Harvey, started 3rd and just kind of fell back and didn't have the best night out there. It was David Harvey finishing in 11th. In 12th, one of our chase contenders, Mike Floppy Tellier, finishing in 12th. Philip Scott, 13th. Gail Brooks, 14th. Tristan Mayer, Vinny Valvano, 15th and 16th. Bill Edwards fell back in the pack, finishing 17th. Jason Freeman in 18th, and then finishing 19th, the 22 machine of Stephen Kegman. Then rounding out the top 20 is the 6 of Andrew Himmelman.
Don Runkle Jr. coming home 21st, and then behind them, cars that did not make it to the end of the race. Garrett Gleason retired at the stage break. Tony Lucarelli, he started, started and then ended up in the pit road after 2 laps, and that was the end of his night. Kyle Lewis is being scored with 24th. Not sure if there was a black flag or something on the number 54 machine. You see he only finished 14 laps down, but iRacing scoring him down in 24th. The only thing I can think of is maybe a black flag there at the end of the race or something of the sort that drops him down the running order. We'll see if we can get that all sorted out in the post-race, but those are the unofficial results here tonight at Watkins Glen and the MaxGraphics.co at the Glen event. And of course, we'll be right back here next week on 3-Wide TV for more Total Nonstop Racing action. And Bob, we're down to just 2 more races left in the season.
Yeah, I can't believe 2 more races left. We've got Darlington coming up next week, and in 2 weeks' time, the finale, the Thornton Graphix Championship race at Bristol. So 2 great races, 2 great racetracks. And, I'm sad to see the 2021 A season end, but, I'm looking forward to these next 2 races.
Absolutely. But, Bob, of course, we have to give out tonight's Shibby Shack Dash for Cash award. And I think you have been kind of doing the tabulations and trying to figure out which of these drivers is going to walk away with tonight's Shibby Shack Dash for Cash.
I do. The winner of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash was the 48 machine of Chris Cabot. he was able to beat out the 16 of Don Runkle Jr., who finished in 21st, and the 54 of Kyle Lewis, who rounded out the field in 24th position. So the 48 machine, Chris Cabot, finishing 9th, is going to be picking up the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash for tonight's race.
And of course, it is the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash once you finally get it in your pocket.
Yes.
Anyway, cash. It's a good thing. Well, folks, we really appreciate each and every one of you joining us here tonight. James Perry asking, where's Ben Mashburn in the chat? Ben Mashburn doesn't race on Monday nights, but he will be here on Friday night, right here on 3 Wide TV in the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series. Thanks for stopping by, James. Ryderly Angle in the chat as well here tonight. Tana Himmelman says, someone get on Drew's radio and tell him he goes faster with the wheels on the ground. We saw him go upside down here tonight. Kind of a crazy night here at Watkins Glen, but I'm sure it's going to be a really crazy night next week. Same place, same time, 8:30 Eastern on 3 Wide TV. Bob, any final thoughts?
Well, just looking forward to next week's race over in Darlington for the throwback race, and I'm just excited to see all these brand new paint schemes these drivers are going to be able to churn out, because I love some good throwback race schemes, and this will be a fun one for sure.
And of course, on the point standing side of things, tonight was a really good night for James Lorello. He will, of course, keep the points lead going into next week at Darlington. And Ben Izenga going to move up to second place in points and leapfrog Bill Edwards. We'll see which of those S2R machines has the best night at Darlington. You'll have to tune in to find out. Big shout out to our friends over at SimTV, as well as the sponsors here of the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series, including Dunn Raceway Park and Master Millwright, who sponsors the Total Nonstop Racing Big Block Series. If you're interested in getting your feet wet, make sure you check out the TNR Discord. There's a link in the description, I do believe, and if not, hit us up on one of these chats. We can get you a link to that if you want to go out there and join some of these TNR drivers. But I think that's going to do it here from the Glen here, folks. But so for myself, Peter Short and Bob Giaquinto, have a great night. Stay safe, and we shall see ya.